Sometimes I wonder where I've been, who I am, do I fit in? Make-believing is so hard alone out here on my own. I used to sing that song a lot as a teenager growing up in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, because that's how I felt most of the time. Like I was all alone, like I didn't fit in, like I didn't belong here. When I think about it, there are people right here in Canada who don't know that black people come from Canada. I mean, people are always asking me where I'm from. And when I say Canada, they say, where were your parents from? And when I say Canada, they say, where were their parents from? And I even had one person insist that despite the fact I'm part of the 8th generation of my family on this soil, I had to be from someplace else. Kind of hard to feel like you belong when faced with that kind of thinking. Now, it has occurred to me that the reason for this is that nobody knows anything about black people in Canada. Have you ever stopped to wonder why it is that people who write about history have to make it so daggone boring? I mean, it's no wonder no one wants to read it. History is about living people like you and me, but you wouldn't know it. I mean, really, if you think about it, all of us are already a part of history, because that minute we just lived through, it's gone. Bye-bye. It's history. And we're all living, breathing people. And as living, breathing people, there is a lot more to us than just facts and figures. I found out some pretty interesting things about some of the people I researched. 4 women in particular. Marie-Joseph Angelique, enslaved in Montreal. Rose Fortune, the first policewoman in North America. Mary Ann Shadd, the first North American woman to publish and edit a newspaper, and Viola Desmond, who refused to give up a seat to segregation well before the celebrated Rosa Parks. By sharing with you what I've learned of these 4 sisters, I can share with you some of the history of black people in Canada. Now, the things Marie-Joseph Angelique saw. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long, long way from home. They think they have won now that they send me to my death. They don't know they free me from a living death. They will no longer own me. Angelique, they have called me. Marie-Joseph Angelique. So many times bought and sold. So many times renamed by those who would presume ownership of my very life. I don't remember the name given to me by my mama. Well, I spit on them all and choose a name for myself. Tinyade, she who is royal, that is my name. I go now to my grave with a name of my own. Rose was raised free and took that freedom for granted. When that freedom was threatened, she took action. Now from the docks of Annapolis Royal Nova Scotia, the things Rose Fortune saw. Children, 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 come to me, my children. Listen, listen, our help is needed now, so listen. All right, nothing I like better than being down here on these docks. Nothing sweeter to my senses than the sounds and the smells of the water. Can you hear those gulls? Stevens! Boy, you best get down off that stack of crates for you falls and breaks your neck. And if I catches you up there again, I'm going to break your neck. These young ones will run you ragged if you let them, and I sure ain't letting them. Oh, the land that I come for, sweet Canaan's happy land I come for, sweet Canaan's happy land I come for, sweet Canaan's happy land, pray give me your right hand. Sweet Canaan's happy land, Canada! Officially land of the free, after August 1st, 1834, ended slavery throughout the British colonies. Mary Ann Shadd was born free to free parents October 10th, 1823. She came to Canada on account of that law to avoid the risk of being sent south into slavery. She was very highly educated, having attended a private school run by Quakers, and she came to Windsor, Canada West in 1852 to teach. While there, she became the first woman in North America to publish and edit a newspaper. Now, I find all of this particularly interesting because, like I said at the beginning, Windsor is where I'm from. Evidently, there was a major conflict in the colored community of Windsor over a nearby settlement for fugitive slaves called the Refugees' Home Society, with a gentleman by the name of Henry Bibbs taking up one side of the debate and Mary Ann Shadd taking up the other. And the reason that she started her own newspaper was, well, let's just say he or she who controls the press controls our perceptions. Now, the things Mary Ann Shadd saw. This balderdash on the pages of The Voice of the Fugitive, the newspaper published by Henry Bibbs about me and those who support my opposition to the Refugees' Home Society. A designing individual whose duplicity is sufficient to prove a genealogical descent from the serpent that beguiled Eve in the Garden of Eden. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. Well, for a while there, Canada was trying not to be everybody's land. Let's sit in on this press conference and hear about the things Viola Desmond saw. As I am unaccustomed to speaking in public, I do hope you'll bear with me. I understand you have some questions that you wish to ask of me. May I have the first question, please?
How do you feel about what happened at the Roseland Theatre?
I really must say that I can't understand why such measures should have been taken. I have traveled a great deal across Canada and the United States, and never before has anything like this happened before. I mean, I was born in Halifax and raised there, and have always found relations between whites and coloreds to be quite pleasant. Really, to tell the truth, I didn't really think that something like this could happen in Nova Scotia, or really in any other part of Canada for that matter. Now, all of you, too, know some of the things my fore-sisters... No. Let me change that. Some of the things our fore-sisters saw. And maybe now you know almost as much about Black Canadian history as you do Black American history. I hope so, because Canadian things are really important to me. You know that they say that we Canadians are not very demonstrative and that we don't like to wear our patriotism on our sleeves. But I just like to shout it from the rooftops, I'm proud to be Canadian! Yes, I know the history for Black people in Canada has sometimes been a difficult one, but the truth of the matter is it's been like that all over the world. And all over the world, people are still fighting against that kind of injustice. That's what I was taught being Canadian is all about. We still have a long way to go on the road to true equality, but we're making great strides. That's why we are constantly ranked one of the #1 countries in the world to live in. That's how I know I belong here. It doesn't matter where you come from or how long you're here. Once you're here, you're Canadian. And to me, that's a great thing to be. This land is your land, this land is my land, this land was made for you and me. Let's live in it together and in peace, shall we? Thank you.